Hello, everyone. Tonight, I will be talking about woodland, tribal woodland medicine. Three tribes that I will be hitting that use this type of medicine will be the Ani Anhuia or Chalagi, Cherokee, Haudenosaunee, Iroquois, and the Panaska. These are all woodland tribes throughout the southeast and the northeast tribes as far as Canada. Let me start off introducing myself. My name is Black Bear, also known as Carlton Walker. From my mother's side, I'm Chicano, Inde, Apache, Yoeme, Ahayaki, Yaki, and Chalagi, or Salagi, which is a Cherokee. From my father's side, I'm Black and Shata. Um, I'm going to give you a greeting. Lo Sinchin Aniavu. May the Creator bless you all. In Cherokee, you would say Dousti Nutane. What's up? All right. As we all know, the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies and the United States government does not care about anybody. Their main goal is to push these pills to us in order so they could keep our elements not cured but treated so they could keep making money. But if we look back to our ancestors' ways, the indigenous people of Turtle Island and throughout the world, we find that there are actually remedies and cures that can really help our elements. It wasn't that long ago that great grandmother or grandmother would gather these different herbs. And so maybe great grandfather would gather these herbs and teach you. I remember as a kid being in Arizona that my aunt, and Thea Gata, my cat aunt, would show me about aloe vera plant. And she told me that if you ever have a cut or burn, then you could actually use aloe vera to relieve that element, that sore. As time went on, my father told me that the pharmaceutical company does not care about you. They don't want to give you cures. They only want to give you treatment. As a young man working in the hospital, I saw at a children's hospital, they always talk about treatments and not never cures. Over the years, I started to research and find out how, why, and where you can find these plants. A lot of these plants are in your local grocery stores. Some of these plants, though, you have to go back out, a lot of these plants back in nature and look for them. I'm not an herbalist, but I'm on the road to learn this. I plan to visit a lot of different indigenous nations to gather this knowledge that's been there for thousands of years, but nobody wanted to listen. Just now. Now we only deal with four sacred plants today, but there are thousands and thousands out there. So, according to native tribes, the Creator gave them tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, and cedar as a way for both ceremonies and to alleviate pain and stress. The first one I would want to talk about is called Lobelia infata, also known as Indian tobacco. It's used as a respiratory stimulant and it relaxes the lungs and is used to stop smoking and cravings and withdrawals. And people with asthma who smoke this open up their lungs also. This Indian tobacco was used by the Cherokees, Anianguia, or Salagi people, the Haudenosaunee, Iroquois people, and the Panaska people to heal aches, bites, abscess, sores, and it was also used as a cold infusion in, to relieve sore throats and other things. I find that this is very helpful. Now, another thing that was used was cedar. Cedar was sacred to all of these tribes also because there were cedar trees that would be growing. Um, Cedar is also known for an antioxidant and antibacterial, and it can be used to repel insects. It's also fights against fungus, bacteria, and viruses. And I think that this will help in the future and not just relying on just regular antibiotics because they are saying that so much antibiotics is being used. They don't have none. I'm thinking if we look back in nature, we could find a lot more antibiotics and use ourselves and don't even deal with the pharmaceutical company if not necessary. And the same thing, it also fights against viruses. So I remember in 2020 when COVID happened, and I actually got pine needle tea along with garlic and honey. I mixed all of those together because that's an antiviral, antibacterial mixture, and it actually helped me fight against COVID, even though they was like it's just the flu. I didn't know that was really COVID. Nobody really knew when COVID really began. Nobody knew, but I figured as bad as I was, and that was the worst I ever felt getting sick. Because usually I'm very healthy. I don't really get sick like that, where I couldn't hardly move and my whole body hurted. So yeah, I remember the effects of COVID. It's really helped. A lot of people, are scared, and who are urban natives to go back to the old way. You know what I'm saying? But I think you have to start to think that a lot of these medicines that they give you have worse side effects, really bad side effects a lot of times. I mean, you should study what you're using, but just don't use anything. Take your time, research it, talk to your elders, talk to your medicine man, whoever that you got in the community, learn about it, learn the right amount to use and how it's used, research it before you use. Another thing that cedar is good for is to help with white blood cell count. It builds it up, basically. Moving on, we got sweetgrass and sage. It's basically a perennial plant. It's a blood thinner. It's also used in ceremonies to cleanse against bad entities, demonic spirits, if you want to hear it. Basically, it's broken down to the leaves you could use for herbal tea for cough and sore and fevers. Another great plant that I heard, even this one Cherokee chief told me about, was golden seal, garlic, and ginseng. The Cherokees, also known as Aniwaya or Haudenosaunee, and Micmac tribes use this plant to combine it to combat inflammation and infections and to boost the immune system. I remember this chief told me that he used golden seal within a day. He was not sick no more. Neither was his son when the son caught the flu. So some of these old remedies are really well. And also golden seal is an antibacterial and alkaloid. And the Cherokees used it to treat skin diseases, eye sores, and mixed it with bear root to use it as a insect repellent. So you see these different herbs that you learn about that I just mentioned could assist in fighting against some of the things that's very common that we don't have to go to the doctor all the time. My father taught me sometimes you need to learn how to fight against it on your own. Don't rely on just Western medicine. There's more things out there if it's a common cold or just a regular virus. Don't get me wrong, still seek your medical attention, but you got to be balanced and learn other alternate things when they tell you that you got out there. Now, this is only part one. I will do part two tomorrow, and I will be talking about elderberry. quinoa, and all these other foods and superfoods that's out there. Also, don't miss tonight. I have Tonia Paris coming on. She's a Black indigenous from the Cree and Mi'kmaq nations. She will be talking to you guys about herself, her achievements, her goals. Get back to me. It's always been a pleasure, and always will be a pleasure to talk to the indigenous communities out there. And until then, take care.